What's the creepiest thing you've seen in a hospital? My wife Sarah needed a bone marrow transplant. The doctors explained it like they were describing a routine oil change, but I could see the gravity behind their practiced calm. Cancer doesn't give you the luxury of easing into these things. One day you're arguing about what to watch on Netflix. The next you're memorizing the layout of the oncology ward at City General. Those first few months after her transplant, we practically lived at that hospital. Every other day, sometimes more. Sarah would get hooked up to the infusion machines for hours at a time. Bags of clear liquid dripping life back into her veins drop by drop. I learned to pack like we were going on a camping trip. Laptop charger, phone battery, enough snacks to survive a small apocalypse. The cancer ward had this weird geography to it. The main area buzzed with controlled chaos. Nurses moving between rooms with purpose. Families huddled around smartphones trying to look normal. That persistent beeping of machines counting out heartbeats and breaths. But if you knew where to look, you could find these quiet pockets. Little alcoves with uncomfortable chairs and outdated magazines. That's where I set up shop most days. I got good at disappearing into spreadsheets and conference calls. It was easier than watching Sarah sleep fitfully in that recliner. Easier than counting how many times she winced when the IV tubing pulled. Work became this bizarre anchor to normalcy. I'd take calls about quarterly projections while sitting 20 feet from someone getting chemo. The mundane and the life-threatening existing in the same space. It was a Tuesday in March when I heard her. I was deep in some budget analysis, probably my third cup of terrible hospital coffee, when the sound cut through everything. Not crying, howling. Pure animal grief that made every conversation in the ward stop. The sound came from one of the consultation rooms down the hall. Through the gap in the door, I could see a woman, maybe Sarah's age, maybe younger, doubled over in a chair. A man, her husband, I assumed, had his arms around her, rocking her like a child. His voice was steady but strained, the kind of calm you force when everything is falling apart. "We'll go to the cabin," he kept saying. "We'll go to the mountains like we always planned." She was bargaining with someone who wasn't there. "I need more time. I have more time. The kids need me. We were supposed to have more time." Her voice cracked on every word. I couldn't see who else was in that room, but I knew. You don't make sounds like that over good news. The man was on his phone now, still holding her with one arm. "Mom, you need to come get the kids. Tonight. Yes, tonight. We're going to take that trip we talked about." His voice broke on the last word. I tried to go back to my laptop, but the numbers swam on the screen. Sarah was sleeping 20 feet away, her skin gray from the treatment, her count so low she couldn't fight off a common cold. We were in our own version of borrowed time, waiting to see if the transplant would take, or if her body would reject the one thing that might save her. The woman's cries eventually quieted to sobs, then to whispers I couldn't hear. They left about an hour later. He had his arm around her waist, basically carrying her. She moved like someone who'd forgotten how legs worked. I watched them disappear down the corridor toward the elevators, carrying their catastrophe with them. Sarah woke up as they were unhooking her from the IV. "How long was I out?" she asked, stretching carefully. "Couple hours. How do you feel?" "Like, warmed over shit, but alive." She smiled, the first real smile I'd seen from her in weeks. "That's something, right?" I helped her with her jacket and gathered our things. We made small talk about dinner, about whether we needed to stop at the pharmacy. Normal couple stuff. I didn't mention what I'd witnessed. Sarah was fighting her own battle with mortality every single day. She didn't need to carry someone else's tragedy too. That night, after she fell asleep, I sat in our kitchen with a bottle of bourbon and tried to drink away that woman's howls. They'd burrowed into my head, mixing with all the other sounds from that place. The beeping machines, the hushed conversations, the forced optimism of, "See you next week." We've been out of the woods for 3 years now. Sarah's counts are good, her energy's back. We don't talk much about those months in the cancer ward, but sometimes in quiet moments, I still hear that woman's voice echoing down hospital corridors, bargaining for time none of us really have.